Well, Senator Dick Durbin says it's honestly up to Republicans. Many of them have been swaying back and forth on the issue for months. Speaker Madigan gets to choose which bills are called to the House floor, and there's still no word from his office indicating that we'll see any action today. It looks like Democrats are trying to buy more time. Police say the simple act of just writing some kind words on a Post-it note and placing them on this squad car means the world. And you can believe that these Post-its won't be thrown in the trash. Many places have already done away with gender-based pricing, so this woman's jacket will cost me the same as any man's suit coat. They were leaving an ice cream social when they attempted to drive across this intersection. That's when the train struck them on the driver's side. Coroner has just released new information. The name of that woman shot and killed is Sheena Malone. Now, police believe she was not the intended target. A construction site like this one employs about 10 people, and when you include those who are subcontracted, the amount of people out of a job could be double. Well, the ultimate goal is to teach kids how to build robots and to get them interested and excited about competing in nationwide competitions. Aaron, that's right. For the first time in this 32-year history, Decatur Celebration is charging for admission. It's time for bingo, and today, everyone's a winner.
Whoa! Another day for the seniors to be able to come and be together.
And it's a cause for celebration. Beginning August, the Senior Services of Central Illinois is reopening its doors on Friday.
I'm excited. I'm ready for everybody to come back and for it to be back to normal again.
It's been nearly 2 years since they've been able to extend important resources to seniors before the weekend, and it's devastated many who've relied on them for transportation, exercise, meals, and social contact.
I've lost most of my family, and these are my friends now.
At 73 years old, Willis Boland says having a place like this to come to keeps him going every day.
I didn't think I'd like to be with all these old people, but I'm loving them.
And that's why the 3-day weekend was tough.
Because the weekend gets kind of lonely sometimes. And then when you got 3-day weekend, no, I don't need that much of a vacation.
And neither did staff, who've been taking a 10% cut to their wages.
It's been difficult.
You take it with a grain of salt and you keep a positive attitude.
People here say they can't wait to see this sign get torn down. It's been serving as a sad reminder of what happens when lawmakers can't agree.
It was kind of frustrating.
The center is now getting a refund for last year's spending, and they're waiting on money from this year's budget. Staff says community donations have been key to staying afloat during the impasse.
It's bringing back a lot for us, and we thank anybody and everybody that has a part in it.
In Springfield, Raquel Martin, WCIA3, your local news leader.
This area.
This isn't your average day in the small town of Elkhart. Many say they woke up to chaos when more than a dozen train cars suddenly derailed.
Our entire house shook.
Kind of scared me at first, before I got out of the house.
It happened late Monday night. Now dozens of emergency crews have a major cleanup on their hands. They're hauling huge scraps of metal and clearing up debris stretching across the main entrance of the town. No one was hurt, but several brand new vehicles were crushed in the wreckage. Traces of twisted steel could be seen scattered around the track.
The crew's been working overnight and actually have made remarkable progress as they move the train.
As of Tuesday afternoon, tracks were 90% clear. But it'll take days before Amtrak's busiest downstate route is back on schedule.
About 3 days before they have the debris cleared and they're able to inspect the tracks for safety.
Until the track is reopened, Amtrak is using charter buses to continue routes for passengers.
Amtrak's system is shut down, for lack of a better word, between St. Louis and Chicago, and if you're going to use Amtrak, you're going to have to go to either north or south to make those connections.
In the meantime, authorities ask people to stay clear of the damaged track while they hurry to finish repairs and hopefully get service back on track.
I went, no way. And I even went in and double checked the bracelet just to make sure I wasn't seeing things. And sure enough, it was Joseph.
Anita Renshaw says she couldn't believe her eyes. After more than 40 years, the mystery man on her MIA war bracelet was discovered.
I was so glad that they found him.
In 1971, Captain Joe Smith, an Air Force pilot, went missing after his plane was shot down while flying over Cambodia. His body was never found. A few years later, Renshaw got a bracelet in his memory at an anti-war rally in St. Louis.
And we went to this one protest march, and they were giving out MIA bracelets. And I happened to get the one for Joseph Smith.
Until she saw the story of his homecoming, all she knew of him was his name and the state he was from, Illinois.
And I've had it all these years. I didn't know what part of Illinois he was from, and every once in a while I would go look in the box and I would just say a little prayer that we would find him.
As the former wife of a Vietnam veteran and the daughter of a World War II veteran, she says it was important to never forget the sacrifice Smith made.
He was important, and I was hoping that somebody down the line would find him.
And that wish came true. Monday, just 34 miles from her, Captain Smith was laid to rest in his hometown of Assumption, Illinois. After learning about him, she says she feels honored to have carried his memory.
Yeah, I wish I could have known him.
In Strasburg, Raquel Martin, WCIA3, your local news leader. Some describe it as a joy like no other. Building, creating, designing.
It was amazing. I loved it.
This week has been a dream come true for a selected 30 Decatur area middle school students.
I bothered my mom a lot until she let me go.
This is Serena George's third year here. Each time she says her robots only get better.
It's almost as if you can see that advancement over time, and it's just so much fun.
Next year, she's heading to high school, but thanks to camp, she's already got bigger plans.
I've always really been interested in going into graphic design, but I always thought, oh, but I'd never be able to do that. And I went here and I realized, yeah, I could do that.
And that's the epiphany camp mentors are hoping students make.
And they can make a fun career out of it, and so try to light those fires.
Experts say in 10 years, Illinois will have to replace nearly 30,000 jobs in the industry. And that's why camp mentors say it's important to teach kids about technology as early as possible.
There are a couple of kids who I've talked to this morning who I think could walk into a...
If you're traveling through Maroa, you might notice a few changes. A sea of wind turbines are slowly emerging in the fields, and while it's a dream come true for some, others say it's a nightmare.
I'm frankly disappointed. I'm going to be able to sit out on my front porch and see 50 of these lights blinking on the towers at night.
Alan Harris has lived here for nearly 3 decades. He says it's hard to watch energy companies turn the place he calls home into a wind farm filled with nearly 200 turbines.
That's not attractive. Nobody wants that.
That's why he and 3 dozen residents filed a lawsuit. They argue the Macon County Board left them out of the process and only alerted them about the project after it was too late.
Had we had that notice, we might have been able to prepare.
The board disagrees, saying information was readily available. But Harris says more should have been done.
I'm not pleased. There are a number of issues that I'm afraid the county residents aren't aware of.
He and his fellow plaintiffs say they're most concerned about health issues and property value decreasing.
It's a valid concern, you know, and when you bring something like that to the community and you bring things that there's pros and cons to it, and that is definitely a con in my opinion.
Newly elected Mayor Aaron Meter says he understands these frustrations, but sees real value in the project.
I'm more looking at the benefits of it, of they're going to help the township out.
The wind farm will employ dozens of people and bring the county millions in revenue. Something Harris says sounds good when you're not losing money in exchange.
The benefits do not outweigh the negatives to the people that have to live in here. The county board members, none of them live in this 24,000 acre project.